Hello and welcome to this video. It's a little Q&A. I did do a Q&A as my 10,000 subscriber celebration a little over a year ago. But since then, I now have, at this point of filming, over 30,000 subscribers. And first of all, I just want to say thank you so much if you have subscribed or if you've watched my videos. It definitely means so much to me and gives me the motivation to keep going, knowing that I can create content that people enjoy. But I just wanted to kind of chat a little bit and let you get to know me and some of my music preferences. Or if you're just someone that's a little bit curious about maybe my thoughts about music or more general questions about music beyond just the different reviews and reactions I do, this is kind of the opportunity for that to happen. So yeah, all this is just kind of a little check-in, a little music Q&A to see where I'm at with my love of music in the year 2022. So if you are curious at all, then keep on watching this video. So I went through and I compiled all of the questions that I could answer for this video. And the first question is, do you play any instruments or sing? If not now, did you growing up? So I played piano growing up. I was put in piano lessons when I was 7, and I definitely have always had a love of singing. I did musicals and that sort of thing growing up as well. Present day, I have not kept with actually playing music as much as I would like. I would love to get reacquainted with the piano again. And the next question I'm going to answer is kind of relates to that last one in regards to instruments, which is, what instrument have you played or want to learn? So as I said, I have played piano. Want to learn, I have tried acoustic guitar, and one thing I struggle with is patience and getting holding the guitar strings just right on the frets. I found so frustrating and painful. And yeah, that's just me getting too frustrated too quickly. But I still think it'd be cool to learn guitar. And also, if I had the means or the capability to own a legit drum kit, I think it would be so fun to drum. I've never done it. I don't know if I would be absolutely garbage at it, but I think it would just be so incredibly fun to drum along to music and just feel very powerful. It feels like a very powerful instrument. And then my last instrument question I got was favorite instrument. And my gut wants to say piano, because I have been drawn to piano since I was very young. I played piano a bit. I love Elton John so much, and Billy Joel, and pretty much any popular piano player. But at the same time, I love a great guitar moment, preferably electric guitar. I mean, I love acoustic guitar too, but I guess I will say piano and stick to that, even though there are some close runner-ups. Another question is, have you considered writing and recording your own music? I have not, for reasons I already established. I think there is a key difference between having the ability to listen to music and kind of pick it apart or notice things, but then having the ability to just create it from your brain. I think if I would have started younger and really had tried younger or worked or had other people around me to collaborate with, maybe there would have been more of a prayer of me doing that. But at this point in my life, I just don't think my mind, I guess my mind's a little bit more analytical when it comes to analyzing music as opposed to creative to compose music, if that makes sense. I really like this question. What's your best or favorite method of finding new music and artists? I like this question because it actually kind of covers why I started my channel, because I've always loved music, but before I started on YouTube and actively kind of having a community to communicate with about music, I felt like I was in a music rut. I felt like I was listening to the same people over and over, and I felt very overwhelmed about where to go to dig into more music. So honestly, The best way that I like to discover or find music now is through you all watching, whether it's my YouTube comments, people are recommending things in the comments, or getting recommendations over on Patreon. I really let the recommendations speak for themselves and keep an eye heavily on my comments. Outside of YouTube and Patreon and recommendations through that, I do keep a close eye on like Pitchfork, Rolling Stone, different music outlets, kind of see who they're talking about, who's coming up. I got a couple questions about The Weeknd, and one question was artist you want to see The Weeknd collab with. I felt like that this was a very difficult question because he has had some amazing collaborations. But off the top of my head, someone that he has not collaborated with that I think could be really cool would be, you know what? Stevie Wonder. Has he ever collaborated with Stevie Wonder? I think if The Weeknd were to do like a song with him in more of like Stevie style of music, it could be a really beautiful way to show off his voice. I think he would sound so good singing along with Stevie Wonder. That would be really cool. I think that should happen. And then the other question about The Weeknd is, will you be attending The Weeknd's tour or any other concerts this year? As of right now, I do not have any concert tickets locked in. I would love to see this tour from The Weeknd, but part of the problem with me going to shows is either like locations where they touring, but also, even if that's not the problem, it's also just finding someone to go with. And one thing is, even though I'm so intensely into music, there are some people in my life that are very into music, but they also are a bit more secular with what they like to listen to, which is, how a lot of people operate. Not everyone listens to so many different artists like me. So that also can make it a little bit of a challenge for me to find buddies to go to concerts with. So for this round for The Weeknd, the timing of his dates that were closest to me, it wasn't going to work out with other things I had planned. I'm really hoping to be able to go to some shows yet this year. I just don't have any tickets to anything yet. What kind of music do you listen to daily? Great question. What music I listen to daily is a wonderful question because I can definitely say that since having this channel for almost 2 years now, I listen to something different every day, and I love that. And I think it's because I'm consuming so much music that my mind is just peaked in so many different areas. So I base it off of my mood, not the artist. I have playlists based off of a variety of moods. And like, for example, if I'm working out, I just immediately am drawn to either something like BTS, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, I want to listen to like Kendrick Lamar and Mac Miller and J. Cole, and that's it. So it really just depends on what I am doing. What makes you like a song? The melody, the lyrics, or something else? I would say that typically it does depend on the artist, because certain artists I expect either the melody to take me away. Other artists, I expect the lyrics, or other ones, it's just all about the production. But most typically, what gets me most excited is production at first. Pretty much exclusively like music arrangements and production, with the exception of like some of my hip hop albums. I think that really insanely great lyrics, like lyrics that you would find on a Kendrick Lamar album, that can also equally take me away. But typically speaking, what's going to catch my ear first is going to be music arrangements. Okay, I really like this next question. Have you ever seen an artist differently after listening to their album? I am going to say yes. And one of my first examples I can think of is Mitski, actually. I didn't know anything about Mitski. And before I listened to her newest album, Laurel Hell, I kind of got the vibe from Google with my brief research that it was going to be more somber, maybe sadder music, like just a bit more stripped back production wise. And her earlier stuff very well could be that. I think it is. I haven't listened to it yet. So when I started playing Laurel Hell, it was totally different from that. It had such wonderful arrangements. I loved the production so much, and I adored her lyrics, whether they were happier or sad. So that left a wonderful impression on me. And I would also say Doja Cat, because Doja Cat, I think, is such like an internet sensation. And I knew all these different headlines about her, and just there's just like a lot to unpack there. But after I listened to her album, I did not realize just how talented of a singer and a rapper she was. So I already had respect for the fact that she had made her career into what it is. But after listening to Planet Her, I definitely was like, okay, I am on board with this. I'm also going to say Kendrick Lamar. I didn't know exactly what to expect when I first started listening to Kendrick Lamar, and I was just completely blown away by such high quality music. Like, it was everything about his music, I think, is just such beautiful, intense quality, from the production to the deliveries to the lyrics. His lyrics are everything. They're so good. So that definitely left an everlasting impression. Favorite artist you've discovered since you started the YouTube channel? Keep up the great videos. First of all, thank you. That was very nice. But secondly, that's a very difficult question because it kind of relates to the last one. There are way too many artists that I have really come to love and respect from listening to them for YouTube. But I think the most surprising one I can bring up, or the one that where it was just like a light bulb went off in my head instantly, was BTS. Because prior to me listening to their album B about a year and a half ago, they had been in the game since 2013, and I never really paid attention to them at all. I knew they were popular, but I didn't know their vibe, and I just never dove in. And just listening to their album B, there were two songs in particular on there, Telepathy and Disease, that immediately made me be like, what are these guys all about? And I just went into the ultimate deep dive of their music after that album. So that was a really pivotal moment for me, because now I just adore them as a group so much. I really appreciate what they bring to music and the joy they bring people. I would just say that was my most like intense perspective shift was with them, because other artists I expected to be, I expected to enjoy it. So BTS was just like this big wild card for me. That was probably my most like apparent shift in perspective was with them, but there's so many artists that I have fully like discovered more that I appreciate and love so much. Do you associate records or songs to specific periods of your life? Of course, I think everyone does. I don't think I can give specific examples right now, but I just want to more so say that's the beauty of music, is I think many people, if there was a song you love or a song that was played a lot at a certain period of your life, music has that ability to bring someone back to a time in their life, whether for the better or for the worse, to be honest. But I just love that music has that capability to transport you to a different time. I think that's just something that I appreciate, and I know that many other people appreciate. Any albums that help you get through tough times? I think my first Instinct album, and this is one that I would turn to for many years now, is John Mayer's Continuum, because it's a bit more of a sad album lyrically, but it has such beautiful lyrics and also hope in the album too. So if I'm feeling like sad, but also want to live in my sadness, but also kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, then I would turn to Continuum. Kind of in the same wheelhouse, another question was, what type of music brings you peace and serenity to your mind when you're feeling low? I love that. The first album that comes to my head is one that for about 10 years now, I would say gives me this feeling of just like calm. That is Coldplay's Milo Xyloto, which I think that could be interesting for some people. I think it's just like the ultimate daydream album. I love the lyrics. I love how the production is and how it's just like a bit more intricate. There's a lot going on. But for me, it just makes me feel so at ease listening to it. Like I have definitely just like laid down with headphones on and have listened to that album. I don't know why it just brings me that sense of peace, but it just does. And I feel like musically that might be a little bit more chaotic than what some people would turn to for peace and serenity, but I think it's like the whimsical daydreaming aspect of it that does it for me. Who is your favorite musician? I've said it 100 times and I'll say it again. Elton John. It will always and forever be Elton John. Favorite music genre? I can 100% say I do not have one anymore. I don't. In the past, I probably would have said pop, but my eyes and ears have been opened to so much music that I do not have a favorite one anymore. I would say that the big umbrellas that I listen to most would be pop, hip hop, R&B, and probably various forms of rock. Those would be like the biggest umbrellas of music that I am most drawn to. Any plans on reacting to Latin artists, Bad Bunny, J Balvin, etc.? Actually, yes. I have done kind of like an inventory of my videos so far, and I noticed that I had a severe lack of Latin musicians on my channel. So that is something I plan to dive into a little bit more as time goes on. Any artists you'd love to talk to, past or present? So that's very difficult because genuinely, I think there are so many I would love to have a conversation with, like just about their work, or if there's just artists that I feel like have good vibes, I genuinely feel like I could be friends with them. Obviously, I'm going to say Elton John. It would be awesome to have a conversation with him, not only as just like a musician that I've admired for years, but just the fact that a musician with just intense amounts of experience and working with so many different people in the industry and who has seen so many things in life. I just feel like speaking with Elton John, you could learn a lot, not just about music, but just about life because he's lived a lot of life. This is a bit of a random one, but someone from the past I think would be interesting to have a conversation with could be George Harrison from the Beatles. There could be a lot to unpack there. And also, I think presently, I would also really love to have a conversation with Lady Gaga for so many reasons. I can't even get into it here, but there's just so much about her that I think you could have some very powerful, deep conversations with her. And I think that that would be a very wonderful experience to have. What's your feel-good album? I've got a few albums that I could say as like a go-to feel good. One, I would say probably any album from BTS, Chromatica or Born This Way from Lady Gaga. 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars, 100% is a definite feel good album of mine. There we go. Those were some of the questions I was sent. Thank you so much for sending questions, and thank you for watching this video, and thank you for just being here. Period. I appreciate it so much. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments of this video and I will be responding back to them as I see them. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. And thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it until the very end. And until my next video, bye.